Hey guys, Quacker Spooks here with another set of NFL predictions. This time it is week 7. So the two teams that are on byes this week are the Chicago Bears and the Dallas Cowboys. So these two teams will not be playing this week and will be staying at 4-2 and 3-3. So let's get into the picks, shall we? The Denver Broncos take on the New Orleans Saints. I am actually going to go with the Saints, despite the fact that they've lost 4 in a row. The Broncos have a slim chance at winning, but I think the Saints have home field advantage, and I think they can win over the Denver Broncos, who have literally no offense. So neither of these teams have offense, but this is why it was flat. This is why it's on Thursday Night Football. So I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints over the Denver Broncos. And that will be 3-4. The Broncos will be also 3-4. Tank Bowl of the Century in London. We have the New England Patriots taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I am going to go with the Jaguars. They have lost 4 straight games, and the Patriots have lost 5 straight games. Ever since they beat the Bengals in week 1, they have been 1-5. These teams are both not very good. And as for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm going to pick them. They have the most likely chance to win. And they are also favored to win. And New England, they don't have an offense. They cannot win games. That one game against Cincinnati, that was just, I don't know how to describe it. I know they started 1-0, but they've been 1-5 since. And as for the Jaguars, they've lost 4 straight. And I think Doug Peterson's going to be fired after this week. So, I don't know. Even if they win, Doug Peterson is not keeping his job. But I am picking the Jaguars over the Patriots. They will be 2-5. And the Patriots will be 1-6. The Minnesota Vikings take on the Detroit Lions. Both of these teams have already had bye weeks, so the Vikings are 5-0 currently, and the Detroit Lions are 4-1. So I am going to go with the Minnesota Vikings. They are still one of the remaining undefeated teams in the league. And the Detroit Lions, I think the Vikings will have a tough time against the Lions, but I think the Vikings, despite them having home field advantage, plus coming off a bye, I think that will definitely help their chances of winning. So I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Vikings. They'll be 6-0, and the Lions will be 4-2. The Tennessee Titans take on the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to go with the Bills here. This is the obvious choice. The Titans have Will Levis at quarterback, and he is not good. And the Bills have Josh Allen at quarterback, and he is very good. And they just traded for Amari Cooper, so they have a wide receiver 1 again. Unlike the Tennessee Titans. Actually, yes, they have a wide receiver 1, but he's not that good. His name is Calvin Ridley. But as for the Buffalo Bills, I think they have the more likely chance of winning. So I'm going to pick the Buffalo Bills over the Tennessee Titans. Oh, by the way, I went 13-1 last week. Yay me, 13-1. The only one I got wrong was Ravens Commanders. And that one I thought the Commanders were going to win, but the Ravens ended up winning that game. So 13-1 last week. But my best week since week 1. And I think it's my best week in a 14-game week I think it's my best record in a 14-game week in prediction history. So, anyways, I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills over the Titans. The Titans will be 1-5. The Bills, they will be 5-2. The Miami Dolphins take on the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to go with the Colts here. The Dolphins are coming off a bye. They're currently 2-3, and the Colts are 3-3. But I think Joe Flacco is going to put the Dolphins in a headlock with his beautiful spiral. Joe Flacco is one of the more underrated backups in the league. And I don't understand why the Browns never kept him. He was good for the Browns. So, I think Joe Flacco is going to throw all over the Dolphins defense. And just like he did against Jacksonville. So, but the Dolphins will be 2-4, and the Colts will be 4-3. I am picking the Indianapolis Colts. The Seattle Seahawks take on the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons here. The Seahawks have not been good. They have started 3-0 and have lost 3 since. They're 3-3. So I don't think they're gonna win this game here either. Besides, it's Kirk Cousins against Geno Smith, and I think Kirk Cousins has played really well. He's played really good football, even if this past game was against the doormat in the Carolina Panthers. So, even if it was against the Panthers, Kirk Cousins still looks good. And they're 4-2. And they're currently leading the NFC South. So, I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons. They'll be 5-2. And the Seahawks will be 3-4. The Houston Texans take on the Green Bay Packers. I am going to go with the Texans here. They are currently 5-1, and they have become one of the better teams in the NFL in a 6-game span. And the Packers have also been pretty good. They're currently 4-2. But I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud is going to have a monster day. And I think Jordan Love is going to have a good day, but I think C.J. Stroud will probably have a better day than Jordan Love. So I'm going to go with the Texans. They'll be 6-1. And the Packers, they will be 4-3. The Cincinnati Bengals take on the Cleveland Browns. I am obviously going with the Cincinnati Bengals. There is no way in hell I am ever going to pick the Cleveland Browns again to win a game. Because, think about it. The Browns are just hot garbage. Deshaun Watson is a garbage quarterback. He has shitty receivers. And I can't explain... I can't fathom how they fucked up Amari Cooper, and they had to trade him to the Bills for a 3rd-round pick. So, it's... I think it's a conditional 3rd-round pick. But, man, the Browns just look like garbage. They're currently 1-5, and they're probably going to clinch the number 1 overall pick if they keep losing like this. So, but I'm going to pick the Cincinnati Bengals, who are currently 2-4. The Browns 1-5, and the Bengals will be 3-4, and the Browns will be 1-6. So just not a good season for the Cleveland Browns. The Philadelphia Eagles take on the New York Giants. I'm going to go with the Eagles. The Giants are currently 2-4, and I don't think they're going to have a good year. Daniel Jones looks lost. He just can't. He's not a good quarterback. I don't understand why they never paid Saquon what he wanted and paid a mediocre quarterback $40 million a year. It's insane. I could be a better GM than Joe Shane right now, because he's the reason why Daniel Jones is still on this team and Saquon Barkley is with Philly right now. So Saquon is going to come back to East Rutherford, but as an opponent. So it'll be, if the Eagles win, it'll be Saquon's revenge game. And as for the Giants, yeah, you're losing this game. The Eagles will be 4-2, and the Giants will be 2-5. The Las Vegas Raiders take on the Los Angeles Rams. I'm going with the Rams here. They're currently 1-4, and the Raiders, they look lost. Both of these teams are lost. I mean, the Rams have a reason to be lost because they've had so many injuries over the course of 5 games. It's unbelievable. And I gotta feel bad for the Rams. And as for the Raiders, they just plain suck. They're 2-4. They couldn't even beat a Charger team coming off a bye week, so it is what it is. So I'm going to go with the LA Rams. They'll be 2-4. The Raiders will be 2-5. The Carolina Panthers take on the Washington Commanders. I'm obviously going with the Commanders here. The Panthers are awful. They're just awful this year, as they usually are. Panthers are usually pretty bad. And they haven't been the same since Super Cam in 2015. So, they haven't been the same since then. But as for Washington, they had a pretty tough game against the Baltimore Ravens. And yeah, they did end up losing, but I think this will be an easier contest. Jaden Daniels is going to throw for at least 300 passing yards on these bums. And the Panthers will go out 1-6. The Commanders will be 5-2. The Super Bowl rematch, the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going with my Chiefs here. The 49ers are kind of mid. Not going to lie, they're kind of mid. And they paid Brandon Ayuk all that money just to be 3-3. It wouldn't surprise me if they went like 9-8 or 8-9 this year. But I know that's not going to happen because because the 49ers will somehow win their way to the division title again. But they're playing the Chiefs, so it's going to be difficult. It's in Santa Clara, but I think the Chiefs, coming off the bye week, were still undefeated. And I think it's going to be a great game. But I am going with my Chiefs. They'll be 6-0. The 49ers will be 3-4. Sunday Night Football, we get the New York Jets taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I am going to go with the Steelers here. The Jets lost to the Buffalo Bills on Monday night, and I think they're going to lose to the Steelers here too. I think Greg Zuerlein is trying to get himself out of a job. And so does Tyler Bass, but that's besides the point. Their kicker does not have eyes. Their offense is anemic. Their defense is flat. They're just a bad football team. Aaron Rodgers can sling that ball 50 yards downfield. And that's unbelievable. That Hail Mary was unbelievable. But I don't think he's going to do that this year, this time around. But I am going to pick the Steelers. I'm not sure if Russell Wilson is starting. Hopefully it's Justin Fields because he's played really well, and they're currently 4-2. And I think they'll be 5-2 after this game, and the Jets will be 2-5. The Baltimore Ravens take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am going with the Ravens here. They're both 4-2, and the Ravens have won 4 straight games. So, I think the Buccaneers will lose this game. They'll be 4-3. So if the Buccaneers lose this game, they get out of the division lead entirely. But if the Falcons lose to the Seahawks and the Bucs beat the Ravens, which is the opposite of my prediction, then the Bucs claim the division lead solely. They solely claim the division lead. But that's not what's going to happen. The Falcons will be in sole possession of the NFC South. And I think the Ravens will be 5-2. The Buccaneers will be 4-3. And last but not least, Monday night, we get the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Arizona Cardinals. The Chargers came off a bye and beat the Las Vegas Raiders. And, actually, no. They came off a bye and beat the Denver Broncos. The Raiders lost to the Steelers. Never mind. That was... Anyways. But I am going with the LA Chargers. They are 3-2. They'll be 4-2. And the Cardinals, they will be 2-5. I don't think the Cardinals are any good. Just because they beat the 49ers doesn't make them very good, because the 49ers aren't as good as they were last year, to be fair. And Kyler Murray looks like he dances way too much in the pocket, and he just dies. He really just dies. So, it's tough to say. But anyways, I'm going with the Los Angeles Chargers. They will be 4-2, and the Cardinals will be 2-5. All right, that's it for Week 7. We'll see you guys next week when we cover Week 8.